Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. You can sign up to be a BDM member at tomanddan.com. And why am I saying that before I even introduce Sam? It's because we're hemorrhaging members like crazy. During spring break, I got more emails of people that wanted to cancel than I've ever gotten.
Really?
So I'm challenging everybody to sign up right now. I got one guy that called me. He's like, this is the second time I've emailed you about canceling it. And I'm like, I don't cancel your account. I'm to just Spectrum cancel your account. No, you go and cancel your own goddamn account.
Why do they want to call you to cancel
And so, no, I called him back, and I said, I'm hot. I'm a little hot right now because you blew up my phone. You emailed me 25 times. You cancel it yourself. You're not a baby. Get out of your mom's basement. You know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and Deucey, let's get to work, Rick Scott. That's what I said to him. And he's like, okay. And this is a real phone call. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm a little hot. And then I said, and I hope you have a great weekend. And then I hung up on him. True story.
Why are they calling you? They have my number.
No,
They'll be all the mediums.
After 7 years, it switches to the other owner. Yeah, you're free and clear now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're free and clear. But hey, Samantha, our producer's here. Hello,
Hey,
Sam.
I'm back.
You look great. You look
Thanks.
rested. I saw you got some new ear piercings.
Yeah,
I
and a
love
new nose
those.
piercing.
You did.
Forgot how bad that
I
hurt.
didn't know you got a new one.
Yeah, I
You
got
got a
it.
double?
I got a double.
Oh my God, you're Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Sammy
We gotta
Kravitz.
cool
nose
ourselves.
piercing.
Yeah, let's get nose piercings.
All right.
If
I
I got
I
one,
got a guy.
Oh, I need a big one. Because I got a big nose.
Go for the Mike B.
Yeah. Oh, no. Never. Never the Mike B. It's like drawing attention to being the ugliest person in the world. Like, why? Why do that? Why would you ever do that?
Let's do some weird job. Sorry, our guest is here.
Got him off guard.
Yeah, you did. You caught me off guard. I didn't even know where my buttons are now. I insulted Mike B. Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by sign up to become a BDM.
We need it.
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
it more than ever.
We're doing BDM Appreciation Week coming up April 17th, and then we got
We changed the date on that? Oh, no.
I mean,
The start of the week, yeah.
At the end of the week, we're doing a BDM Appreciation
I don't
Party.
even know why we're doing it.
And we'll
They hated it last year.
Yeah, we'll
They
definitely
hated it.
lose a lot more there.
Yeah. Oh, man. The goal is to lose them all. We're the opposite of
Gotta lose them all.
Gotta lose them all.
Yeah. I wonder if we could successfully lose them all
No.
through the
It
next
can't
half
be
of our
done.
career.
I contend
all of them.
I am too funny to lose all BDMs.
I think we can lose them because
No.
once we get down to the last 100, we'll just start insulting each one personally.
No, but they
Until-
love it. They
Yeah.
love it. They're like, oh, God damn it, Daniel, you're right.
No.
You're right. You're right. I am a fat son of a bitch.
How you doing, Rick? Sorry.
This is Rick. This is our, yeah.
So Rick, thanks for coming in. What is your weird job?
Just being me. Don't you think that's enough?
Do you get paid?
This is not gonna go well.
Tom's gonna get
I got the T-shirt. Yeah.
Weisenheimer alert. We got a Seinfeld.
I
Seinfeld
knew
there.
it. So Rick, first, how did you even find out about the show?
How did you get here today, Rick?
This is my first podcast experience, and I have to say it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he liked it. He was very complimentary of our studio.
Yeah.
He said that our studio looks nice.
It smells a little fishy, but
Yeah, you mother. It does not, Rick. You're lying on the air.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll
I bought the Glades. I bought the powder you put on, you vacuum it up.
after lunch, we'll do a BDM only show, and we'll talk all about everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay for that one.
Yeah,
That's,
we're
that's
gonna
gonna be
spill
fun.
it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
I
how
have to be professional.
Andrea and I are now
Yeah.
getting a divorce. Lots to talk about. There's lots. You missed a lot over spring break.
So, Rick, what do you do?
So I'm a professional musician.
Okay.
Conductor.
Starving.
Starving, yes.
Yeah.
As you could tell by my love handles, I'm really starving, right? Yeah.
Hey, you look good, man. You don't be so self-deprecating.
It's the black. It's the black. It's very slim.
Can't say that
yes.
anymore. You gotta say.
I learned that from all my
All
my
lives matters,
girlfriends.
Rick.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, like, it's the blacks. The blacks are doing it. Rick, come on.
They work for me. What can I say?
Oh no, he stepped right into it. I set a trap. Rick walked right into
I
it.
did.
Oh.
Sorry.
Daniel's gonna get me today because I can tell his back is turned.
That's how I know. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know what? My posturing is wrong. Let me turn. Let me turn to you, Rick, because I'm. Yeah,
No,
if I turn to you, and then I can't use my magic.
So, Rick, so you're an artist.
I am an artist. Yes.
What kind of artist?
That's a good question. I've been trying to figure that out my whole
Are
life.
you like Picasso?
No, I still have all my body parts.
Do you remember Picasso?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he would paint with his weenie. And he's a really good painter. Like, he would dip it in the thing, and he'd just do the...
Yeah.
And then he'd spin it, and he's like... You know, it's more like Winter Park Art Festival style.
Obviously, a very
want that?
large brush too. Yeah.
No, he's a tiny brush.
Oh.
So, what are we talking? Are painter, musician?
I am a musician by trade. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a clarinet, saxophone, and flute player.
Nice.
Yeah, I conduct organizations and bands and things like that. And
Now,
band leader.
woodwinds, I've always thought woodwinds are very difficult, very hard because of the embouchure, because of the reeds, because of everything you need. You're throwing flute in there.
You got
What got you into it? Because the first instrument I ever learned how to play was flute. So what made you like? I know there's so many jokes there.
Yes.
What made you go into the woodwind area?
Well, funny story is I did not want to play the clarinet, which was my first instrument. I wanted to be like a cool kid and be like, hey, I want to play the drums. I want to
I was a drummer. Yeah.
drum. And my parents were like, hell no.
Yeah.
Here's this moldy clarinet that's, up in my mom's attic. And she's like, if you want to play anything, here you get to play the clarinet. Because my
Your
parents were
mom's
very
moldy
cheap.
clarinet.
Yes. There were still moldy reeds in there. And I went to school, toted my little clarinet. And I was like, I don't want to play this thing. And here I am.
It's funny because if my sons wanted to do anything, I'd be like, yes! Like, I wouldn't be like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't do this. You have to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
did you know he has a problem? Tom has a problem where he says his sons don't they don't actively go like, oh, I want to play trumpet.
They have no interest.
Soccer.
Yeah,
I want to play
yeah.
soccer. I want to
Other
play
than
baseball.
Roblox.
So,
Yeah.
were you making at your? Do you remember what age?
Oddly enough, I remember my grandfather used to play jazz recordings.
Cool.
And Benny Goodman was one of his favorites, besides the Bee Gees. He had a very broad
That's
spectrum
decent
of music.
though. I mean, you could have gone worse.
I could
you
have
know?
been a Bee Gee wannabe.
Yeah, hey,
instead of a clarinet player.
Disco players are still players. They
Yeah.
still know how to play their instruments.
So how do you make money playing the clarinet? Like, is it just going into some sort of paid orchestra or,
There are many routes you can take, and there are many dead ends, but you have to be persistent about it. Clarinets and woodwinds and saxophones. There are thousands of musicians out there. It's just luck of the draw and based on your talent and those breaks.
Yeah, but
You gotta get breaks.
what jobs are there? Like, who's hiring? Like, if I'm a professional clarinet player, who...
You look like one too.
Who
Like you
is-
have the hair of a very good.
Yeah, where are you applying?
Yeah, flautist.
Yeah, like I know...
He looks more like a trumpet player.
I am a trumpet player.
He is a trumpet player.
Yeah, most brass holes have good hair.
Yeah. They're called brass holes.
Brass holes.
Hey!
Oh, we're gonna get you, Rick.
And this is before coffee.
Who is hiring the clarinets?
Let's see, Starbucks. Yeah.
No, I like your
Subway.
joke, but like it would be like Disney, right? Universal Studios.
So
cruise
local
ship.
orchestras that are always hiring, or are there only certain cities that have support like a orchestra? How does that work?
Well, it depends on the city. I mean, some cities have, more opportunities than others, like New York. I mean, there's tons of Broadway stuff. There's
Yeah.
orchestras. It's the arts are definitely supported more in bigger cities than in others. Jobs in Central Florida are few and far between as far as a clarinet player. Now, if you were a doubler and played many instruments, you have more opportunities. If you were a drummer, say, bass player, because jazz is big here in Orlando. So if you're in that genre of, rhythm section, you have better opportunities than you would say a clarinet player or a piccolo player or an English horn player.
I always loved the piccolo, and I'd see the one girl in our band that played the piccolo, and I always thought, first I would look at this hideous nerd. But the second thought I had was
And
that
you still
they,
liked her, though.
I did.
Yeah.
But you always thought, I thought I didn't say it.
She had a pulse.
But I would look at her, I'd be like, and I believe it was the girl. We had a girl that needed a heart transplant, but she ended up getting a plastic heart instead.
Yeah.
And I believe she was our piccolo player. But I always looked at the piccolo and was like, it's so unique, and you only get that one little flourish, right? Like
Yeah.
where they're playing, and they
Yep.
do like a little tootly do, and but I always wanted to be like singled out, like the piccolo player, not like in the drums. I'm just hitting the bass drum, but you're not being singled out. I was always jealous of the piccolo player because at least you got a little tribute to America or
But
something.
drums are considered cool, and piccolo's like, what's that?
But drums are so
a mosquito?
basic, man.
I know, but it's the basis for everything.
And I'm a drummer. Like, this is coming from a guy. I went to Stetson. I wanted to be a professional drummer. That's what I wanted to do. But I'll say it. Like, unless you're doing marimba, unless you're doing timpani, unless you're doing any of the, like, xylophone or vibes or any of that fun stuff, basic trap set, it's so basic. It's just basic.
So it seems like if you get a job in an orchestra, right? Like and you work for Broadway or some like hired orchestra that travels around or whatever, it seems like the people that get those jobs stay there and probably want to stay there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Absolutely, yeah.
So
if
if
you
you-
make an audition, you're not going anywhere. You got a job for life.
So that tells me that there's not that many positions available if someone's staying at that job for life. You know, there's not that much turnaround. They're not jumping from one orchestra to the other. So that tells me that it's hard to even get that job because who the hell's hiring?
Right.
Because everybody who
it's
got the
it's
job
a
is there for
super
their life.
rare job. Like band director. Like my old band director, he is a band director now, and he's jumped around. I mean, his name was Birch Browning from DeLand High School, and he's still a trombone player, and he's still a band director. But what's funny is that when you look and see where he went, I think it's only like 3 moves. And what I mean by that is what you're saying is absolutely correct. These jobs are so absolutely incredibly rare that for him to be a trombone, and then like he writes his own music, does his own arrangements.
Yep.
Trombone, he writes solos for people that want to go and play like trombone solo pieces and stuff like that. 3 moves. He had like basically 3 different. He graduated Florida State. He was my favorite band director I ever had. Then he went to like the DeLand High, and that was his first job. And then I think he went to another one. Now I think he's at a college. But you're right. It's almost more rare than even the NBA or like the NFL because.
But you know what's weird though? I personally, and maybe this is just Miami friend syndrome. Andres' sister's husband is a professional French horn player in orchestra.
Wow!
And that's his profession. And you know what I'm saying? I've talked to him multiple
but the
times
likelihood
about
of
it.
you knowing a professional French horn player is how
That's
rare.
pretty rare.
It's
That's
pretty
rare.
rare.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
yes.
but
You
then,
get him on the show.
but we know other
Way better than Tim.
But we've
I'm joking. That's a joke.
and we've talked to other like professional
thing my name's not Tim.
trombonists.
I know. I was like, you're not talking about him because his name's not Tim.
It's a joke. It's a Tim was the joke.
So Rick, so it seems incredibly hard to become like. How do you make your money? This is a weird job. Like, who you employed?
Where's your
by?
income coming from?
Yeah.
Well, being a professional musician, quote unquote, there's like bunny ears involved here. You know, it's a multi-layered, multifaceted position. I mean, basically, you're your own boss. You're your own entrepreneur. You do your own marketing, and you know you can teach on the side. You can play. My niche is playing professionally, teaching, adjudicating for the state of Florida, being an adjunct, and conducting and contracting my own professional groups.
Nice.
So there's many
I
different
feel
levels.
like Tom thinks he can conduct any band
Well,
in
hold on.
2 weeks.
Rick, you talk.
As long as you can, make a circle in the air, I think you're good. You know.
Well, you got to know you got to know the arrangement, right?
You have to. There's a lot of prep
Yeah.
time in conducting. Yeah.
You're
on.
supposedly going to know that piece of music better than anybody, right? And I know
you got to know where the
down,
solos come in, where
Yeah.
the tempos change. You know where the keys change. You know.
and you can't you got to run your dynamics and make sure everybody's doing what they need to do to give it the amount of like oomph.
Rick, has anybody ever told you talk like a politician? and the fact that you
Don't answer the question.
you have the long-winded
Kind of like you.
I know. I think it's like double. It's a double.
How do you like it, Tom?
I think I should start my own
And
podcast
and
on
I'm
how
like,
to BS.
where's the
Yeah.
answers, Rick?
Yeah.
You have that long answer to the question. I'm like, well, still don't
So
understand.
I'll ask you that. Maybe,
Tom, I did. I
Who
sell my own
employs-
groups. It depends on who you market. Like we work,
He's
we do
self-employed, it sounds
self-employed.
like.
Yeah, we
Okay.
work. I have a contract with Disney. We do
Nice.
contract groups out there. I play in the Disney Candlelight Processional for their seasonal.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I teach Orange County, Seminole County, and Polk County.
Who's
I just kinda
smarter,
make it around.
Orange or Seminole? He's Seminole. I'm Orange. I say Orange is smarter kids.
I'm gonna stay neutral on that, kind of go around because I have friends in every county.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's orange.
I'm not gonna lie, it's orange, guys.
We all know. Anyway.
I didn't say that out loud.
So, like, when you
That
get,
was me. I said that.
when you let's say you get contracted for a job in an orchestra for a musical or whatever.
Okay.
How long is usually the contract? What are the practices like? How many
That's a
days a
good
week?
question, yeah.
Like, do you show up 3 days a week for practice, then perform on the weekends? How does that usually work?
Well, to answer your question specifically, Tom, each contract lasts anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the show. What people don't see is behind the scenes, the practicing, the prep time that we have to do in order to go in and play a show. And if you're a professional, you're expected to come in and pretty much nail, your part. So there's a lot of practicing, a lot of personal time put involved, finding the right reed. Oh my gosh, especially if you're an oboe player, you got to check the temperature. Is the temperature right in the air? What direction is the air flowing? It's all that behind the scenes. So there's multiple hours involved, not just the 3 hours or 2 hours that you're involved playing a performance.
What does the temperature in the air have to do with anything?
It's all about the reed, baby. It's all about the reed. Yes.
So what does that mean?
They're very finicky, yes.
So some
blast
days,
players have a little bit easier because they don't have to worry about making sure their reeds are wet or using synthetic reeds versus cane.
So the reed is like it's a reed. It's a little piece of
It's made of bamboo.
yeah, bamboo, and you put it on the mouthpiece.
So let's say it's too cold. How does that affect
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
instrument?
It's a lot like ice. The fibers, tend to
Tighten up.
yeah,
And then it gets
sometimes it doesn't
drier.
respond. Yes, depends on the humidity in the air. Yeah, so
Is it good or-
reeds produce sound on reed instruments, except for flute because it's considered and back in the day it was a reed instrument, but it's a brass instrument. The reed vibrates at a very high acceleration, and that produces sound on a single reed instrument, which is like sax or clarinet. And you have double reed instruments, the oboe, the English horn, and the bassoon. 2 reeds are put together and they vibrate simultaneously. Now, the 2 reeds put together, they're 2 separate different reeds. So you have to make sure, you can flip it and play on one side, play on the other. So the double reeds are a little bit more, well, I'd say a lot more complicated than the single reed instruments, but that's how sound is produced on.
How does the humidity of Florida affect like reed instruments? Is it good for them or bad for them, or doesn't matter? Or
It depends on the cane and the reed and how it's cut. I mean, there's just so many
are
different
there
factors
super
in that.
expensive reeds you can buy?
Oh my
that are-
gosh, yes.
Like
you
what's the
get-
most expensive single reed you can buy?
I've paid $200 for a single bassoon reed.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So Rick, how
That's impressive.
Generally, they're supposed to last longer than cane reeds, but I mean, if somebody sits on it, you're out a $200 reed.
Right, it's done.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm a professional oboe player and
I wish
You're
you
worth
were.
gold.
and then I'm trying to contract myself. How do I market myself to these companies looking for a professional oboe player? Do they put the the job?
Is it LinkedIn?
Yeah,
or
yeah. How does that work?
It's usually posted on like a union website.
Like a musicians union
Yeah,
website?
musicians union. Yeah.
So you then seek it out and then you apply for the job that's posted.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
so
cool.
And then you have to audition against every other person in the world that wants to audition for the same spot, which is usually in excess of like 1,000 people.
So is it kind of like an actor? Is they hold these open auditions? And then
Just
you show,
like an actor.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there any you get to the point where then the orchestra calls you first? You know what I'm saying? Like
if you're
just like-
rare, I would imagine, right? Like if you're an oboe like savant, then they already have your number, right? And they know.
Well, if you're an oboe savant, you are already like gold. I mean, if you're, because oboe players are few and far between, so I mean, they're worth their weight in gold.
So then they always have jobs. And so does it?
It also depends on the results of their audition too. I mean, if you got 1,000 people, generally an orchestra, you're referring to orchestras, and generally an oboe player is confined to an orchestra. There's not much other than orchestra work that's for an oboe, other than doublers for like Broadway shows. So they don't have oboes in jazz band. They don't have although there are some great oboe jazz players and bassoon. It's very rare, of course.
Super rare.
But there's 2 positions for each reed instrument in an orchestra. So I mean, do the math. That's like what, 8 reeds?
Rick,
2 oboes. And you're auditioning 1,000 people. So you have to be amazing.
Right.
Yes.
You think we'll ever get to the point where some sort of robot will be playing these instruments?
I saw that at the Star Wars land.
yeah, because now
Oboe to robo.
Like I understand that you could just emulate the same music like digitally or whatever. You could put it together, but people won't like that. They like the live orchestra. But maybe they wouldn't mind if a robot orchestra
Like
was
a
still
player piano, but every
Here we go.
but
The
every
self-playing
instrument-
piano.
Yeah, every instrument is. He's obsessed with player piano.
Player pianos are
They're cool,
really
right?
cool.
They're
I
really
mean,
cool.
It's still.
I like them too.
Yeah, like there's still some sort of motion happening that are striking the chords.
This is how
that are-
dumb I was as a kid. As a kid, I was always like, I'm gonna figure out how to play that piece so I can sit behind a player piano and make it look like I'm playing. And I'm like,
Then why didn't I just play it?
thank
Why not
you.
just-
That's how dumb I
right?
am.
Yeah.
Tim.
Well,
It's
kids are stupid.
Like
Kids
if
are
you,
stupid.
you can have the real trumpet, but there's just some sort of robot pushing the air.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's
you
like a
know-
robot embouchure. It's on
Yeah,
there
yeah,
every
yeah.
time.
Tom,
it
that
makes the
stuff's
perfect.
been around. I mean, look at the age of electronics. As soon as that came into being, we had the guitars that look like keyboards.
Guitars,
There's
yeah.
the electronic wind instrument. They have all that artificial sound, but there's nothing like the original. I mean, it's like you can't compare the two.
So, how much, if you are going back to oboe player, you get a contract of, you said 6 weeks or whatever, what are we talking? How much money does that person get paid generally?
Well, it depends if it's a union contract, just like actors, whether it's equity or after or anything like that. It depends on the contract.
Well-
Generally, a rate for a musician for a 3-hour call time is about $180.
180
$180, yeah.
an hour?
No,
For
3
the whole
hours.
for the 3
Oh,
hours.
that's
for
low.
3 hours.
Okay.
Tell
You
me
guys are
about
getting
it.
underpaid.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you guys, it'd be $300.
You should start a reggae band. My husband made more than that.
Yeah. So is that...
Reggae
Yeah,
oboe.
but Sam, to touch on what you said, because of that, I have branched out and started my own groups, like the Brussels Sprouts German Polka Band, which nails it for Oktoberfest.
I think we were watching that, right?
I've seen you guys out at Avalon, yeah.
Hell yeah.
We
that's
were at
awesome.
Avalon, yeah.
Yeah, really cool.
So you're doing a variety of different things.
Hustling.
I am hustling big time, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what probably most
The reason for
musicians
that,
have to do.
Tom, is because every place has its niche. I mean, you're not gonna obviously have the German polka band play at Dr. Phillips. It's like the Merry Melodies Sax Quartet at Disney for the Boardwalk. I mean, they love that sort of thing because it's interactive and it's more atmospheric. So you have to know your marketing, you have to know your clientele, you have to know your niche, and that will make it or break it.
Interesting.
So is there oboe player?
You
How
were stuck on an oboe for a trumpet. I'm.
Yeah.
How-
It's always,
can we-
well, a boy can dream.
Can we change it to saxophone?
Saxophone.
How does one work their way up to? And I don't even know what's considered the best job in the oboe world.
Back to the oboe.
Or trumpet, or pick an instrument. What's
yeah.
considered the best full-time job? Is there
Is Conductor the best? Is that one of the best, do you think?
It depends on your forte. It depends on your speciality. To me, if I, as a musician, coming from a musician standpoint, and I'm a huge John Williams nerd, I mean, hello. If I was an oboe player and I made it into the London Philharmonic Orchestra, I would die a happy person. Yes.
And that
Gotcha.
is the high.
that would be the pinnacle of my career. Yes.
Gotcha. And
Okay,
then
like
what does
my-
that person make as the full-time oboe
In
player?
excess 6 figures. Yes.
6 figures?
Well,
Okay.
let's talk about my
Still
cousin.
not that much for being the best of your position in whatever the world or
But it's fleeting too, because there's always new shows and always new things happening. So it's not like you can do all of them. Like my cousin Ebby, who I went to visit. Well, I went to visit his brother. He is a professional trumpet player in Las Vegas, and he played for Diana Ross. And
yeah.
and there's some recordings
Like their
that they
Vegas shows.
Yeah,
I'm sure
and
like
he-
those type of shows or
And
like Broadway.
he
or
was
something.
he was the lead. So in the show, he was in charge of all the trumpets because he was lead trumpet, his first chair, and he was also the soloist. But he would also make sure that his section was, so there were more responsibilities than just playing. It was like he was making sure that everybody else was up to speed.
Yeah,
He was kind of like almost like a military at that point.
Yeah,
It's like I got to make sure all my trumpets are doing exactly what they need to do and not mess it
That's
up.
a
But
good section
he
leader,
made
yeah.
a lot of money.
Well-
I mean, he's retiring at 92. He's retiring in Vegas with a really nice golf course house and the
Do
whole
musicians ever really retire?
No, he
No.
still tries. Well,
Yeah.
his wind won't do it anymore, but
Yeah.
he wants to play.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it's kind of depressing that you could be the best oboe player in the United States, working for the best possible position, and make as much as
Like a
the
teacher or something.
no, the third best local radio DJ, and
Yeah, well, that's just
Hey,
business.
you know,
That's art. That's just art. That's
It's
art.
all about supply
Yeah.
and demand. I mean, look at look at the salaries for basketball and football players.
Right.
I mean, you're getting millions of dollars worth, of basketball, and that's a seasonal sport. As a musician, you're playing all year round.
Especially around here.
Yeah.
Man, we never stop around here.
Yeah.
well, it's all based on who is watching and how much money you can
That's
just,
true.
Yeah, generate.
You could be
and
playing
everything.
at Froggers for nothing, or you could be
Well,
playing at
I
Winn-Dixie.
mean, let's face
Excuse
it.
me, Disney, not
Sports have
Winn-Dixie.
always trumped, the
Winn-Dixie,
performing
Jesus.
arts, right?
Well, although like the orchestra, okay, how does that work with the orchestra in Hamilton, right? So Hamilton, I'm guessing, made how much? Billions of dollars.
Yeah, you could just say $1 billion.
Yeah, probably more than that, like $10 billion since it came out or whatever. Like, and that orchestra that was playing when it started
Makes
like,
the same amount of money as they do today.
it's all the
Yeah,
is the union
unfortunately,
work.
yeah.
It
Yes.
doesn't matter how popular the actual.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey,
okay.
hey,
Yeah.
boss, I need a raise. No, it doesn't
Like
work
to
that
go back
way.
to the Diana Ross thing, he played on the recordings that Diana Ross released, right?
Yeah.
But he still got paid as the orchestra. It wasn't like he
Yeah.
was making that Diana Ross money.
Like
You got to sign off on the royalties, all that good stuff. That
So-
goes back to the...
and if you don't, maybe you're not there, right?
Yeah,
Like if you don't
exactly,
sign the
yeah.
right
remember
contract.
when they released Hamilton to Disney Plus?
Yeah.
During the
Oh,
pandemic,
believe me,
or whatever.
my whole family made me watch it 100 times.
Then and like the orchestra that played in that, do they get any sort of like the trumpet player in that particular recording of? I don't know if it was recorded.
I
over
bet you
multiple
make
days,
more money than him.
Or, but do they get any royalties from
It
the
being
contract on
possibly,
Disney Plus?
depends
Dan,
Sure.
I think you answered my question. I'm going to start my own podcast.
Do it. You need to do it.
I'm sure it's dependent on the contract they sign.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
all
yeah.
on the
Probably,
contract, yeah.
Probably
It's-
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Sam mentioned earlier, through the musicians' union contract, it's it's all predetermined. So there's no unless you're within the contract, get royalties. It's a one-time thing. It's a wham bam. Thank you, ma'am.
So
On to the
Alex,
next. Yeah.
You know what I've always wanted to know? How much money the long-haired Asian violinist for Shania Twain made. Put that on our list.
Okay.
I want to know how much that guy makes.
So Alex, you got anything to plug?
Alex. You guys get this guy's name wrong left and right.
God
Well,
damn
at
it.
least he did it. It takes the heat off of me doing it. It's our
Why did
first
I
day
say
back,
Alex?
Rick.
I don't
Rick, it's-
know.
yeah.
What the hell's
Why did
that?
I say Tim? It's our first day back.
It is.
We're
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
I
Jeez Louise.
apologize.
You know where
Sam, I'm leaving today not knowing who the hell I am.
I
Okay?
apologize.
Is our next
I'm
guest
gonna walk
Alex?
outside your door, close
No.
your door, and be like, now who
Who's
am
in the
I?
lobby? Who are those people? I don't
That's
even know.
Joe.
Yeah, that's Joe.
Yeah.
You know,
Joe, is that you?
what-
Okay, that's Joe. All right, remember Joe.
Yeah,
we got it.
yeah.
Hey, what would you guys do without
We'll do
me
better
here?
tomorrow. We gotta warm back up.
we
It's
need
been
to-
like 2 weeks. I feel like.
we need a solid full day warm up. So
Just
Rick,
to review, my name is
Right,
Rick
yeah,
Kissinger.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and so
Artistic director, the LCO,
yep.
Orlando's premier chamber pops orchestra and big band. I had to get that plug in there.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
You should be plugging.
I'm
yeah.
plugging, baby.
Where can people see you if they wanted to see you play? Play
Funny
music?
you should ask that, Dan. I have notes right in front of me. So we have a movie night at the movies, movie magic, Hollywood Hits and Broadway's Best, Saturday, April 1st.
Nice.
At 7:30 at the Living Drama Theater in Eustis. We're doing a live movie soundtrack
Oh, that's cool.
with
Yeah,
a
that's
35-piece
really
LCO Chamber Pops Orchestra and Big Band. Yep, and they're playing all the movie clips, greatest movie clips on a 3-screen projector while we play all the soundtracks
That's
for
cool.
the movies. And it's like a total nerd fest. We wanted to like include like all of your Comic-Con people and your cosplay people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's the same weekend as MegaCon. So, but if we have any fellow sci-fi nerds that are out there that happen to be free on Saturday nights and want to come out, yeah, I mean, we're doing some like old school stuff like Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Cool.
Like to find a
Is it
soundtrack.
a ticketed event?
It is a ticketed event. Yes.
Where can you get tickets?
Living Drama Theater tickets.com.
Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
There you
Awesome.
go.
Yeah, chat room is interested in that, so guys, get your tickets.
Well-
Get your tickets, yeah. We have another event coming up at the Dr. Phillips Center, as we were talking about earlier, Sam. It's July 15th. Now, this show is going to be really, really cool. It's kind of like Cirque du Soleil, a little scaled down. But we call it the LCO Presents a Vaudeville Spectacular, where we play all the background music, but invite artists like drag queens and aerialists and magicians,
Sweet.
guest soloists. We have 2 fabulous vocalists from South Florida that I've done Broadway shows with down there to touch a little bit on
That's
that,
awesome.
Tom. Yeah, so it's gonna be great. Yeah,
Sounds
it's
like,
July 15th at 7:30 in the Pew Theater, Dr. Phillips.
Yep, I love that theater. That's the one we
It's
were in
awesome.
for our documentary.
Yep.
It's not overwhelming.
It's
It's not, and
perfect.
I've played in the Steinmetz and the Disney, and they're just like so huge.
They're mega, but this one's
but
perfect.
the Pew is just like intimate, and it's great for like a vintage vaudeville feel.
Very cool,
So nail it. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. We're terribly sorry that we got your name wrong, not once, but twice.
Yeah, Bill, it's been
Dick
a pleasure.
Joe. Yeah.
Jonathan, we cannot thank you enough.
And we will be right back.
Awesome. You're still on Twitch and YouTube. Hey, thank you, man. That was
Twitch
awesome.
and YouTube.
Sorry about that. We honestly do need.
Yeah, we are way out of practice. My God Almighty, it's embarrassing. Where's that go, Sam?
That is Wednesday, 3/22. One.
And you're only drinking Diet Coke.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. 3:22.
Yep.
Well, that was fun.
Thanks for coming in, man. And you need to start that podcast. Really appreciate it.
I'll leave that up to the professionals. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Most professional people wouldn't get your name wrong, so.
It's all right, Sam. Sam's got it.
We tend to do that a lot by accident, but
We interview a lot of people.
yeah, and
Melissa, our video editor's
She'll get that.
watching it, salivating at us both looking like idiots.
I'm gonna go check my driver's license. So I
Oh, good luck with that.
my name is. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Sorry
it's
again,
nice
man.
to
Thanks
meet
again for the time.
All right, buddy.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Get over the elbow.
3, 22, 23, 31 minutes.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, Rick's gonna get me.
Yeah, Rick. Yeah, we made Rick mad. Joe, how you doing? Gotcha.
That's got to be easy
Good
to
to see
remember.
you,
Although
Joe.
I felt
Good
like
to see
Rick
you,
was
Dan.
easy to remember. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, just you want to get a bit on an inch off of it for me, please? And then we'll probably have to raise your camera. No? Very good. All right, let's see. Joe, we're going to call you Larry for this one.
Yeah, it works.
Okay. Jesus Christ, so embarrassing.
No, that's fine. Rick didn't give a shit.
Oh, God. Almost done here. Where are we putting this one, Sam?
This next one will be for next Wednesday, 3/29.
3:29.
We're getting the hell out of March.
Bye, March. See ya.
Had to get Joe while he was in town.
Oh, that's right. Where are you from, Joe, again?
Maine.
Maine. How was Maine?
I know. I want to.
Maine's great.
I don't know nothing about Maine.
Yeah, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, but
Tell me everything about Maine.
We're gonna do it.
I hear nothing but good things about Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And no one even really bitches about how cold Maine is. It's because of
I would.
like
I hate the cold.
I don't like the cold, so.
Well, let's ask him when we get him on
Yeah.
because
Oh,
he lived in Fort Lauderdale, so that's a vast difference.
Here we go. Vast difference.
That's totally different.
Vast
got that on the
difference,
brain.
Vast difference. Vast difference. Here we go. I'll start. Is this a beginning?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2. It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Sign up to become a BDM. We got BDM Appreciation Week coming up in April.
Yep.
And we're doing a big BDM Appreciation Party at the end of the week. And if you want to be involved, you got to be a BDM because we're going to invite all BDMs. We personally invite you and a guest through an email. Also, we're doing a bunch of BDM only giveaways and special T-shirt offer where we put together a $5 BDM T-shirt and some
Might
other cool
puke
stuff.
in your front yard.
Yeah,
You
my
never
puke in your
know.
front yard. I've been doing it a lot lately because the anxiety is high. So go to
You still
Tom
got
and-
that?
Oh yeah, the anxiety. Oh man, it's with me.
What?
It's
I thought it
with
was
me.
over.
I know. Just my alcoholism's still with me too for some reason. That's weird. But yeah, it's tomandan.com. Sign up to be a BDM. There's a love meter there. You can decide to give us a lot of money, or you can give us the bare minimum. We do judge you for that when we see it come through.
Yeah,
If you do,
we
like-
see the names.
Yeah,
We're
if
like,
I see, Steven Johnson, $195. All right, this guy's a real piece of ass. But then you roll through at a $7.95, you roll through at a $10.95. I'm like, this guy's
even
got
at
the
$5.95,
good.
I'm like, oh, that's pretty
I
good.
may even call you. I may call you and be like, hey, thank you, man. We really needed that. All right, are we doing the thing?
Yeah, let's do
All
it.
right.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday.
Didn't we just do this?
Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is
All
your
right.
job?
Okay.
right.
I'm stopping it. I'm stopping it. Hold
That's
on.
enough.
Okay, that's enough. All right, we're done.
Get to work.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now. I gotta
Got
write
it.
some new ones. I gotta write some new ones because I realize now that the only reason I did the new Weird Job songs was to break up this goddamn bit. I'm so over these people's job. I'm so over your job. I'm over my own job. I don't like any job. What we do weird? We tried to do Weird Hobby Wednesday.
Yeah, that didn't.
That burned hot.
That burned real hot. Nobody has any hobbies, and all your hobbies suck. Everybody's hobbies.
I think
the
that's
same.
why they stopped writing in because Tom just crapped all over their house.
Well, we got an
everybody's
email from
too
one guy. We
sensitive.
got an email from one guy that was just like, so he thinks you're like the meanest person in the world.
Yeah, why are you so sensitive?
And the last guy we had on for Weird Job Wednesday, Joe knows because he was sitting in the sitting in the lobby. Rick, the
regretting his
cleric-
decision on coming here.
Rick, the hobo player.
yeah.
We'll never see that mother ever again. That guy's out of here.
you know, I could tell.
How do we? What relationship
As
did
soon
we
as-
ruin? Whose friend was he?
I don't know. He was
Is he
someone's
Skorsky's?
friend,
Is he Skorsky's
yeah,
friend?
Yeah.
We
So,
ruined. I
could tell when they're
understand-
friends of
yeah.
a friend
Yeah.
because they're like, what's happening?
I was just told to be here. I'm helping you out.
Yeah, but then
and
they're
we're like, we're gonna crap all over you and get your name wrong and waste your morning.
Joe, I could tell is a listener
Joe,
right when he walked in.
If you walked
What
in,
made you think that, Tom?
I'm kind of curious too.
Yeah.
wow, Joe, you pissed off Joe now. Joe's
Yeah.
gonna stand up and El Camongo in the head. Oh my God! And he's just you know who he looks like? My old intern, the Smoky Giant. He's as big. He's big. He's a big man like the Smoky Giant.
He is, yeah. No, and also Joe.
Choose your words carefully with Joe. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh yeah, well, he's listening. Joe knows.
Just that Joe knows.
right-
Joe knows
right
football.
So Joe, what is your weird job?
Oh, hold on. Let me play the thing.
Yep.
Okay, I got it. I'm joking. I'm
what-
sorry.
I've got a couple of different weird jobs.
Okay.
So overall, my wife and I own a lodge up in Maine.
I'm
Do you wanna
obsessed-
promote
I'm
it at
obsessed with
all?
lodges
Yeah.
now. I want to buy a lodge.
Yeah.
That's my new thing. Is I want a
I might
cabin.
visit.
Let's-
I
well,
might visit.
have I got a deal for you?
Oh, I want a
Yes.
cabin.
Let's do the
Andrew,
Tom and Dan
cabin.
Lodge.
I want
Let's
a
do
cabin.
go-to.
So
Yeah.
we
We'll be
own
Little Captain Cabin.
we own Lake Parlin Lodge, which is up in the Northwest Mountains of Maine.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
This is a nice spot.
Yeah. So Jimmy's been up before. Jimmy and Tori have come a couple times.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, they got the invite first?
No, but I
Fired.
think Russ has been up there. I think Jimmy's been up there. I think
Yep.
I think that they've known you guys longer than obviously than we have. But that's awesome, man. Well done.
Yeah.
So when we're saying lodge, how big? Or what are we talking here?
The main lodge is 40 by 75. We've got a full restaurant and bar that we don't operate the restaurant anymore. We did, but it was set up with full restaurant and bar and
Hard to find
lodge
a cook.
rooms in there, and
Hard to find a
that's
cook,
it.
man. They're always
It's the
smoking
labor.
crack.
100%.
Stop smoking
In
the
Maine?
crack. I need
That's-
hush puppies on table 2, you piece
That's
of
why
crap.
we're not in the restaurant business anymore.
Yeah, because they're always when it's cold. There's nothing to do, so you smoke crack.
Head chef was great. Line cooks, different story.
Yeah.
So
always a line cook.
Yeah.
I was a line cook.
They love crack. So the
Who does it? I feel like if I did crack, I would love it.
oh yeah, well of course,
Everybody does.
I think I'm gonna. Of course. Yeah.
crack is awesome.
Yeah.
That's why you can't start.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
You can never start it because it's just too good.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there doing a little bit of crack, just getting
Yeah.
themselves.
Do you
Like,
think there's
like
a-
I'm
Joe,
doing?
do you think
You're
there's
kind of doing a little bit of meth.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Are you
Like,
back on your meth? Most of my friends can't find their meth, and they're freaking
Somehow he
out.
always gets his meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Castleberry Public.
Castleberry, full of meth. Transfer your
A lot of
prescriptions
people
to the
don't know
Castleberry
this. A lot of
Public.
people don't know
Yeah,
this.
they
The
got so much
Castleberry
meth
Publix
there.
was built on an Adderall deposit. Underneath the Castleberry, they've been mining it. They're mining Adderall.
Oh, wait
The
till
miners
the
come out in the
tanks
morning.
go. I'm defending my Navi. Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't have Adderall factories up there
Okay.
or mines.
So how many rooms in this lodge?
In the main lodge, there's just 4 guest rooms, but we have 6 cabins, and then we have what we call the mini lodge, which is a 5-bedroom, 5-bath house,
Okay.
basically. So
That's dope.
we can sleep about 55 people total.
You got animal heads in there and a fireplace.
Lots
and,
of animal heads.
Yeah, you got them
And
animal
fireplace,
heads and a
yeah.
fireplace with a mantle on it, and you have like pictures of the founders and what you did. And
So not to get too much into your
Oh, love
business,
it.
Joe, but was this something that you and your wife purchased? Was it some sort of inheritance?
Yep. No, we purchased it. So I grew up, just to go real quickly through the backstory. My parents were originally from South Florida, moved to Maine in 1970 to this area that I'm at now. We lived there for 9 years. So my early, when I was really young, was there. During the time that they were up there, they bought this old camp that was on a lake. In those days, it was a lot easier to find places like that.
sure.
So they had this camp on a lake up there. So when I was young, we moved back to Florida. But when I was young, we'd go up in the summers and go up at Christmas time, that sort of thing, to camp. So my roots were always kind of up there. I've always been into the outdoors and hunting and fishing and all that stuff. So, but grew up in Coral Springs. Went to Taravella down in South Florida.
Okay.
Then Fort Lauderdale Beach, we were in the hotel business down there till from 89 to 2004.
Oh,
we
it
were
was a
on
good
Fort Lauderdale.
time. A lot of partying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, Joe, I'm curious because, I think about this all the time because the internet.
You want to lodge too?
Well, I do because it's probably
You better
too.
not put it near my lodge. I'm gonna run you out of business.
It's probably too late because the time for lodge buying was pre-social media. And I want to get Joe's take on this because post-social media, it's so easy to market yourself now that the most beautiful places in the world can now be seen by the world. And so the small lodge owners, the places
and that brings all the line cooks out smoking
So,
crack.
Tom, you're spot on because so when we opened,
I know I am.
Don't tell him.
Ever
You know
tell
the
that.
rules. Never say
Tom,
he's
you're
spot
way
on.
off base.
Yeah,
Way
there
off
you go.
base,
There
yeah.
you go. Now Joe knows.
Now I know you're lying.
Yeah, Joe knows.
So yeah, my wife and I, our kids were 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there when we decided to move. We left in 2006. We made the decision that we wanted to get out of South Florida and move to Maine. We always kind of wanted to raise our kids as they were getting older, kind of be in the outdoor lifestyle, that sort of thing.
You didn't want to raise your kids in South Florida? Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. That's right.
That's the number one place to raise
They've
kids.
got the most amount of crack. Have you been listening to our show?
I've only heard
So-
good things.
So anyway, we moved up there and we were in the hospitality business for a long time. We always liked it. My wife went to law school, got her degree, passed the bar and all that, but she never ended up using it because she
And
was in the
shows
family business.
hospitality. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a brave and a brave lady because I think hospitality is the hardest job
And why go through law school?
in the world.
You should hear her on the phone, Dan.
Oh, she's just a
true
master of
pro.
it.
Oh,
She just
yeah.
does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like Andrea can do that. My wife can do
Yeah.
it. Like when you see people that can handle, like I don't have the temperament for it. I can't. I get too angry.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Take my
people's-
business elsewhere.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit, yeah.
That can
Yeah.
happen, but it's after she hangs up.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know.
I mean, we're kind of in the hospitality industry as well
We
with the
are.
AR-T&D.
Yeah.
So we.
Well,
offer
you are.
here-
You are. I don't know what that thing's doing. I haven't set foot in it.
That's real shady.
I haven't been down there in a
Yeah.
year. I haven't seen it. I don't even know if it's still there.
And what I've found, the guests are, for the most part, horrible.
Wow.
Yeah. I have
Depends
never
on-
seen more disgusting people in my life.
They jizz everywhere. That's what we
Yeah.
found.
That's what we
I'm
found.
sorry, you cut
Yeah.
that.
I bet there's less jizz in the lodge game.
We don't check for it, so I mean, we're not into it black lights.
What do we?
Yeah.
What
Is
do
that
we
what you're
ruin
doing
our
after,
business?
Tom?
Why do we ruin our own
Don't know
business?
why you're doing
Because
that.
it's fun.
Is it fun?
Do you ruin your own
Hold on, I
business?
thought it was fun to be successful. It's fun
It's
to
too
ruin
hard
it.
to be successful. It's fun to be. It's fun to just ruin it.
Okay, sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
So going back to how the social media has changed everything in like the hospitality
Yeah.
world. But
So when we opened, we bought the property. Actually, the property neighbored where my family's camp is on the lake.
Nice.
And so that was one of the
Convenient.
reasons we ended
Yeah.
up there, because we didn't want to see the property go somewhere else. It was a great opportunity. We could stay in hospitality. I could combine all the things I love, the snowmobiling, the hunting, the fishing, all that.
Snowmobiling. Your
Yeah,
son
so-
wants to snowmobile,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It-
we're
You didn't let him, did
We're
you?
in the Mecca up there. It's like the heart of it up there.
You
but-
didn't let him do it, did you?
So-
You broke his heart.
it's too expensive to rent. Like
Here we
Oh,
go.
it's
Mr.
crazy,
Moneybags
yeah.
over
You
here.
know what I was saying? Like
How cheap is it to ski?
I mean, you're the one that you'll buy Uber Eats. You'll you'll buy a $50 cheese sandwich.
to take my family. I looked every day. I would try to find the
All
cheapest.
Tommy wanted to do is ride a snowmobile. That's all he wanted to do.
It's like it ended up being like $800 for the day
Oh my
or whatever
God,
it is.
that's like a helicopter ride.
It's too expensive.
I got all
ride
kind.
on a stinky snowmobile for a little bit.
Yeah, I got all kinds of sleds. If you ever want to go ride and just come on, it's
See,
way
you
less
see
than
that?
800.
You call them sleds. When you're a lodge owner, you're like, I got tons of sleds. You
So-
can borrow one of my sleds.
So anyway, the reason I said social media was great is when we opened, winter of 10-11 was our first year opening the lodge. We did no marketing except for Facebook. We just go on Facebook, go on the snowmobiling pages, because that's all there
so
is in the
smart.
winter. It's all about snowmobiling in the winter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what Tommy, his son's been saying. It's all about snowmobiling in the winter.
Maine has 13,000 miles of groomed snowmobile trails. And
13,000
yeah.
miles of professionally graded snowmobile trails?
So yeah, everyone in the Northeast kind of comes up to where
Is
our
it
area.
just like motocross, sort of? Or like in the vein? Or like the guys get out and then they ride daily? Like every day they're out?
Oh, every day. Oh, yeah. We have guests that come, 6, 7, 8 times a winter. They'll come almost every weekend. They ride the same trails, but because you can leave from the lodge and we're kind of in the hub of everything, you can go anywhere in the state of Maine.
Can I pull up on my snowmobile and walk up and get a beer?
Yes. Well, when the bar was open.
Right,
you
when
could,
the
yeah.
bar was open,
Yeah.
right.
But there's other places that
That's
you can.
dope.
That's the whole thing. I mean,
Like
everyone.
bikers. You're like a snow biker.
Yeah.
I'm into that. Yeah, that's cool.
But it's also another challenge of being in the restaurant business is that every person that walks in your door is driving a motor vehicle. So you got to watch it.
Drunk, yeah.
Hey, what's a snowmobile? like
yeah, it's a
I
killing
feel like-
machine.
Yeah,
It's
right.
got
I mean,
gears.
110 miles an hour.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
110 miles an hour on snow?
wait,
That's scary, man.
if you go out to any place in Florida that people ride 4-wheelers, 90% of everybody's drunk.
Yes.
Well, but I will say,
And I'm not even talking just buzz.
Yeah.
I'm talking couldn't operate a vehicle drunk.
yeah, but they don't really drive those 4-wheelers. The ones with all the I've seen and somebody put a meme, I think, in the PDM group. It's like the ones that have like the awesome rims and the spinners, and they got a Yeti on the back, and they got a pole, and they got lights, and they're not riding those things. They're just sitting on them and drinking.
Well, but I'm just saying, it's like, when you're operating a car, like there's the margin for error smaller. You're in a lane. There's a bunch of cars around you. But you're a snowmobile, 4-wheeler, a boat. There's a
For
lot
some
of
reason,
space. here.
snowmobile and boat seem not
Scarier.
safe. Yeah,
Yo,
scarier. It does.
I could literally, my boat could be driving, and I could walk to the back and then go off the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then
For how long though?
I mean, I'll look around, and then I got some space. I mean, I'm not on plane or whatever. I'm just slow speed. You know, it's fine.
Okay,
You couldn't do
alright.
that while you're driving.
And then it's a turn down for what scenario?
Yeah, you're whipping your head into
And then you're in a snowmobile, like you're not in the X Games here. You're just driving from bar to bar, home drunk, you know, like through the woods. Fine.
Tom, this one you're wrong on.
Yeah.
man.
So yeah, the
Joe-mobile
Joe.
gonna get you.
yeah.
I guarantee, I'll bet my life that I could give you 13 beers and you could drive a snowmobile from here to Maine. No problem. You know what I'm
From
saying?
here to Maine.
From here to my house, I'm saying you
my
could drive a snowmobile 2 miles blacked out drunk.
You could. Problem. So yeah, of course you can ride them. That's the problem is when the guys drink, you know, you lose your inhibition. You got your buddies, you're racing down the trail, you're side by side, everyone loses their fear.
Oh well, now
That's
you're
the-
racing. I'm just saying.
Oh, but
putting
that's
down
what
the
happens.
force.
yeah.
Oh, now you're escalating things.
Yeah. Well,
you
I mean,
shouldn't
it's no fun
race.
unless you escalate, right?
Like I'm saying, just going through the forest to the next bar, you're fine.
So, do you have
Not to advocate the snowmobile
drinking and
DUI
driving? Yeah, we advocate almost every. Like, yeah, we end up on
So-
this topic somehow during every
Joe,
interview.
back to the lodge. What's the margins as far as like how do you need it 90% rented at all the year long, or I mean,
Well, it's, you know, where we are is extremely seasonal. So we have our 3 months in the winter. You hope to get started right around Christmas time. You hope to have, and when I say get started, we have to have enough snow to groom.
Okay.
So we run our snowcats and we have drags behind them. The trails have to be groomed 4 to 5 times a week.
what's the snow been like in the east? Right, because in the west it's been nuts. Like
Yeah,
even I
crazy.
just got back from Colorado, they've gotten record snowfall. And like all the
Dude, it snowed in L.A.
no, I know. Well,
It's crazy.
California. Have you
Yeah.
seen
It's
like
crazy.
the California mountains, like in Big Bear and stuff?
Yeah.
Like the snow is up to the top of the lifts.
Yeah.
like 30 feet high. Like
It's like they can't go.
like the whole. I mean, there's such an amount of snow that it's insane. But that's not affected the East Coast, right?
Yeah, no, our winter was it was a little bit of a late start. We didn't start grooming until mid-January, but it's been a really good consistent winter anyway.
Ton of
We
work
didn't-
though to get it ready, or is it not that bad now?
Yeah,
that
it's a
you
ton
know-
of it's a ton of work keeping the machines going. So we operate our local club out of from the lodge. So we have 4 groomers. So it's nonstop. Something's always breaking.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
we
it's
run
a lot of wear and tear.
Yeah, you got 3 machines going 8 hours a night. You know,
Jeez
in the
Louise.
middle of the night. So
Is
they
it
break
dangerous
down.
to clear the trails at all, or is it just monotonous?
Neither.
Yeah.
It's you know, it can get monotonous, but it's pretty satisfying, you know, because
Yeah.
you're grooming them every night. You're taking a trail that's destroyed from the day's riding, and looks just like, you know, perfectly flat when you're
That's
done.
cool.
So, and you know that everyone that's riding out the next day, like everyone lives for the
Appreciates
groomers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So Joe, you actually have a fleet of snowmobiles that you rent out.
No, I don't rent them.
Okay.
I wouldn't get in the rental business. I'll let someone else do that.
So
Yeah.
you're just like that.
That sounds like a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
man.
Because the
What kind of insurance you have to cover?
Terrible.
Seems insane, and then people don't know what they're doing, and then have this false sense of security when it comes. They think everything's Disney World, like so they'll get on a snowmobile,
Oh, just gun
and
it,
then
yeah.
and then just gun it into the back, or they'll just be like, I'm safe, and then fall off the mountain because they think that they're like, oh, they'll keep me safe, and you're like, no, you're responsible for yourself.
Yeah.
I've seen people like almost kill themselves scuba diving, thinking that like, oh,
Four-wheelers,
that-
scooters.
yeah. So going back to the lodge part of it, so the winter season, I feel like the spring and the fall is, and even the summer in Maine is the big, the season for you guys, or no?
Winter's the biggest.
Really?
Yeah, so it's winter, then we have spring, which we close for the entire month of April. We don't even open the doors because it's mud season. I mean, it's, you know, I love spring.
mud season.
Spring is actually a great time, and that was the other part of what I do. It's kind of a weird job hobby thing is picking up shed antlers, moose antlers. So that's like a springtime thing. So you go out and find the antlers, and and a lot of people collect them. But now there's a big market for it for dog
Dog
chews.
toys, yeah.
And
Yeah, it's high dollar now, man. I mean, like all of
Really?
your like your Bark Box and all these people, they buy them up because people want like these all natural chews for their dogs, and they see it as a way of like almost upcycling these things that have been, you know, falling off a moose or whatever. You know, these antlers. Yeah,
huge market.
and they're expensive as hell.
Yeah.
It's funny how like I feel like most people don't know that moose and elk and they shed their antlers every season or whatever. And I feel like that people don't know that.
It's kind of
as much
gross.
as- And then
No, I'm joking.
Is there
I mean, kind of.
is there a place that how many can you find in the spring? Like what's a good haul?
I usually pick up between 75 and 100 a year, a season. But I know guys that'll pick up, you know, because you get into the whole guys that are serious have dogs that are trained, which my daughter and son-in-law have one that is going to be his year this year. But yeah, the dogs are real helpful. So those guys will find 200 to 300.
So you send your
Wow.
dog out and he finds it, or he'll make a noise and
Sniff it out, yeah.
He's winding it. Yeah, you're walking and he's just checking the wind and he'll smell them.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, it's really
How
cool.
much is one pair of antlers worth?
All right, so antlers used to be, the value was like in making furniture or just decoration on the wall. So an antler would be, you know, a set might be $500 or $600 for a set, and a set is when you find both of them off the same moose. So, you know, but that used to be the market, or furniture makers out west and all these fancy places would have, you know, tables and everything made out of them and chairs. Well, now because of the dog chew market, it's changed the value completely. So it's all sold by the pound. So right now, going rate for brown antlers, which is fresh ones from this year, are about $20 a pound wholesale. So, you know, an average antler that I pick up is probably 10 pounds. So
That's pretty good.
That's damn good.
It's and this is why it's changing the whole market up there with the antlers, because you have everyone, anytime you put value on something now,
Yeah.
they're
Everybody's
going out
running out to the forest
Yeah,
and
yeah.
picking them all up.
But
Yeah,
it's a-
people
but it's a
shooting each other
renewable-
over antlers.
it's a renewable resource every year. So even if they all get picked up, it's coming back next year. They're all dropping on the ground again. So, you know.
What happens when no one finds them for long enough? Do they petrify after a while? Did it just disintegrate?
Good question.
Well, they start getting chewed by rodents, squirrels, mice, porcupines, bears, everything.
Damn porcupines.
Everything will chew on antlers once they hit the ground, because they're so rich in minerals. It's one of the reasons the dogs love them. They have a
Liver
taste that
King
they
eats
like.
them. He eats antlers.
That's why it's so buff.
Yeah, that's why he only eats antlers and testicles.
Is it considered stolen valor if you put your antlers on some sort of wooden plaque
No.
in your house, as if
You have to write did
As if
not
you
shoot.
hunted the
You have to write on the
actual-
back.
Well, yeah,
You have to
because-
write on the back at Sharpie did not shoot.
people have antlers like hung up in, you know, the quintessential hunting lodge and
Yep.
like
Yeah.
the rich businessman that has all the animals he killed.
If
But
it's just the antlers, I'm like, you pussy. I want to see the head. I want
yeah.
to see its neck chopped off.
Yeah. So, like, do people just mount them and put them up there? Because I feel like that's insinuating that you killed the animal.
Yeah.
No, it's not stolen valor.
Do you
People
preserve
do it.
them at all? Do you have to lacquer them?
You don't have
or?
to do anything to them.
And they'll just last forever.
Forever. Yeah. Once
Oh,
they're
that's
in
nice. They don't
their job.
stink or anything?
They stink when you first find them. Yeah.
You
that
got to
smell.
wash them? You got to
No.
put a little...
It just wears off. They get that's how the dog smells them. And the wetter they are, which from the snow, you know, they got the snowpack on them, so they're and now have
wet
moisture.
antlers.
So honestly, I feel like this is one of my dream jobs. Just
an antler finder.
no. Well, that's. I mean, just riding on your four-wheeler.
You don't like
drunk
dogs,
or-
though. No, you're not drunk all the time. You're riding on your snowmobile. Everything he says, he wants to be drunk on the snowmobile.
Well, it's not as fun if you're sober. Anyway, so
You're driving on your
just
snowmobile.
owning like a small lodge of cabins or whatever, and just managing it.
Yeah, you
throughout
drive
the
up
year.
there to change the air. You got to charge the Ring doorbell. Make sure it's working. Then you got to put the little.
Well, full time it would be doing that on like a part time is a pain in the ass. But full time is like, you get enough time, and then you take your guests and you create some excursion. You overcharge them for.
Oh, what would your excursion be? Tom Van's sensible Tom Van's sensible drunk snowmobile ride.
Well, I get some side by sides in the summer, and then do side by side tours. Like anything, the people will pay insane amount of money for they come, and then you put a governor on them so they won't go faster than 5 miles an hour.
Oh, well, I'll take that on.
That's fun.
And
Yeah, see, Joe knows.
I'm just saying, for the Brazilian tourists, once they start getting to your place,
Yeah, well,
they'll ride the damn thing off the side.
The guys wear tiny little Goodyear shoes and a tiny little shorts. I'm like, sir, you need some pants. It's 30 degrees.
It is my dream job. So it is like that. So you have the lodge, you get the antler hunting in the spring. Summer is probably our least favorite season. I mean, we do weddings in the summer, and
oh man, that's beautiful.
It's a great setting, and we enjoy it. But as far we don't like the heat. That's why we left South Florida. I found a girl from South Florida that didn't mind leaving the heat and going to the cold. So
there you go.
Well, in the summer, how hot does it get in Maine? I thought that's where like the snowbirds leave Florida, go up to Maine.
It does. I mean, yeah. It's not obviously. It's not Florida. It's we might get a stretch of 4 or 5 days that are in the 80s. But, at a time.
There's a 5 days of 82?
No, they might get 3 stretches.
Goddamn, that's nothing.
That's pretty awesand
And you're back to 75, where that's the
it
hottest
gets hotter
part of the day.
It gets hotter than that, I guess, for stretches. But, yeah, I mean, but and don't get me wrong, it's not bad.
People ACs up there? Probably
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We have to complain every time we have to turn it on.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
in
it's
case. You got to have it right in case
Yeah.
Meemaw's going through having a hot flash or something. You got to have
you
something
gotta
to
have
cool
AC.
them down.
So
what's the hardest part of running the lodge? Is it the people aspect of it and trying to please, or is that not that bad?
No, it's not, because in that type of business, even like in the hotel business we were in
'cause
Florida
you've
and
been
up there,
doing it.
the people, it's destination. So the people that are coming to have a good time.
They're happy people,
Right. You're not dealing with the businessman that's,
right, or
upset or
bereavement.
just
They're
had a
coming here
bad-
because their family died. And
Right.
I got you.
right.
yeah.
So everyone's coming to have a good time. So you have a little bit of a captive audience in that respect. So I would say we got rid of the hardest part. That was when we had the
Kitchen.
restaurant going, dealing, because we had so much labor in that. And now we have, we can operate with a lot less people and do a lot of it ourselves. And so yeah, it's the hardest part is the weather, because when you're weather dependent, especially the winter, it's stressful, because
Do people ever complain to you about the weather? Because I noticed, like, even traveling over this past 10 days, like the people around me traveling are all horrible.
Okay, excellent. Now
They're
we figured it
horrible
out.
narcissists, and
now you figured it out.
And there's a lady sitting 2 seats over from me, yelling at the flight attendant that she's gonna miss her next flight, and what is she gonna do about it? And I'm like, what is the flight attendant going to do? Well,
Right.
she's yelling that there's not enough time to make her next flight, and it's your fault. Like, she's literally saying,
in the air? Oh, my God.
You don't know where we're flying. And she's like, I'm going to miss my flight. I can't get there. And she's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. You have to go see customer service if you miss your...
Also, typically, it doesn't work like that. If they know your plane is late, they'll hold the plane. This lady sounds
Well, no,
like a real idiot.
Well, connections, like, you will miss her flight, and
Well,
the
sorry, you
delay.
missed her connection.
But it was like, you yelling at the flight attendant, what is that going to do? What's the flight attendant going to do? She's in charge of her job right now. She's not in charge of you
Right.
making her next flight. Like, that's the Delta or wherever the airline. It's insane that
But
she's yelling at, and people just want to yell at everybody.
For some reason, I don't think Joe experienced much of that, did you?
No, people, I mean, they get upset with the weather because they're waiting, everyone, it's whether they're there for hunting season or whether
Sure.
they're there for snowmobiling or whatever, but yeah, they're not going to get mad at us.
So they don't complain that the music's too loud at the bars next door when they obviously rented a place that has some sort of... by the way, this is not our BDMs. There's random guests at our Airbnb. They'll be like, music was too loud. I came for a relaxing weekend. And I'm like, did you look at the pictures?
It's literally 6 feet from a bar.
But not only
6
that,
feet.
what did you see the inside? It's got a weird, goofy S everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, who's the
whole
Obviously, it's a weird thing you're
The
renting.
whole refrigerator has nothing but hundreds of beers in it, and you came here. Well, you thought
it's
it was
all-
a day spa?
Like, what did you think when you were renting this? There's a lot of bizarre art and
Yeah.
like Tom
There's
and
an
Dan.
arcade behind
What
you,
is
for
this?
Christ's sake.
Like, what is this? I think this is not some sort of Club Med experience where you're.
Did you ever have anybody show up and they're like, snowmobiles? No, sir. Not for
Not
me.
yet.
Yeah, you're
We,
not going to
we
have
stayed in
that.
a tent last night on,
You
on
did?
the
You
lake
stayed in
over
a
here.
tent last night.
Yeah, just
Oh, my God.
so
Do you
a
guys need
yurt.
some money?
You
Yeah.
made your wife stay in a tent?
Do you need
No,
some
she
money?
booked it.
You booked
She
a
booked
tent.
What
She was,
kind?
and she said she's going outside her comfort zone. And she, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you don't argue
Hold
with
on.
the attorney out there. You don't argue with her.
You own a giant lodge. Why are you staying in tents?
Well, all right. So
It's
real
just like
quickly,
he's losing PDFs like we are.
we looked at where we had to come to today, and I said, "Oh, let's try to find something close by." So she looks Airbnbs, and that was listed, and it's right around the corner. It's like a 5-minute walk
Oh,
from
you
here.
rented my tent. That's my tent. My wife. Yeah, we just put that out there.
So we
Airbnb
think, in our mind, we think it's going to be like this place with all kinds of yurts on a lake and everything. We come pulling up in front of someone's house, and it was a yurt in their backyard.
A yurt. What the hell is that?
You can't say
It's like
that.
a-
Can't repeat that. Can't repeat that.
Is that a racial slur?
That's a racial slur for a tiny hut.
Oh my God, Sam, bleep that out.
Yeah,
I,
it's like a teepee.
yeah, how do you not know what a
Can't say
yurt is?
TP. I got him. He's stumbling down over here.
I thought you were the outdoorsy camp man. You don't know what a yurt is?
I've never heard of a yurt. A
It
tent.
was, it was pretty cool though.
Like
it's all
a
nice inside.
one-polar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
king size bed, the whole 9 yards. Yeah,
You
private
probably
bathroom.
stayed at one at the River Ranch.
Yeah.
No, that's an expensive
Yeah,
one.
that was nice. That had a
There's some nice
little,
yurts.
that had a little bit
Yeah.
of Jackie Siegel sprinkled all over it. That thing was nice inside with it. Air conditioning, and they brought me cinnamon buns in the morning.
Yeah, it's like a scouting mission too, because we look at that and we're like, hey, maybe we should do these around the lake. You know what I mean? You look at that.
Try
it's
in
some
the
like,
summertime.
You're
Yeah.
trying some of the.
Yeah, yeah.
You need
we
to
need
expand.
some yurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get some of those. Get the side by sides.
There you go.
You do the fishing excursion on the lake. You got a lake, right?
Yeah,
You
right on
need
the
a
lake, yeah.
school bus with big swamp tires.
Or you get the school bus and then you put it in the back of the property, and that's what's that guy that went up into Alaska and died in it? Whatever, like the.
Why am I laughing at that?
But you call it the memorial school bus, and you have
it's
people
Call of the Wilds.
sleep in that thing, and people will rent anything. Joe, you're
Yeah, you can
leaving
sleep
money
in
on
a
the
little
table,
school
Joe.
bus. How about
Your wife knows.
Yeah, where are we at with paintball?
Oh,
Battle, paintball battle area.
Yeah, that was when we were kids. We did that.
Oh, no,
yeah,
no,
we
what
went
it-
through
you're
that
not
phase.
looking to set up a
yeah,
a
no,
snow
yeah.
scenario?
That
Have you
was-
ever been tempted to kidnap a homeless man and have your guests hunt him?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
We hunt him via snowmobile.
Yeah.
It could
They
be
like
one of your
that.
line cooks. One of your old line cooks. Go chase him down. We're like, stop smoking that crack long enough so we can chase you, please.
So, Joe, what are we talking? And not to get too much into your business, but what can
The man slept in a tent. Let's let him go home and get some rest. My God.
what kind of lodge, like a lodge your size, is it just like any other small business? You pay yourselves a salary to run it, and the rest of the money you have to put back into the business. that
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing?
like any business like that. The difference is that because it's so seasonal, you have to plan. You know, like
Yeah.
I'd say that's the biggest thing about it. So you're
Plan,
Your,
budget.
yeah, you got your wedding season, then it goes into directly into hunting season. So you got moose hunting and deer hunting, and that's a big deal for us, you know, and you know, so it's
How are the hunters? They good guests?
Yeah.
Or do they?
Oh, I wish they were horrible.
Great.
They're absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
no, the hunting community is phenomenal. Yeah.
Well,
I would imagine most of those guys are by the book, very respectful. You
Yep.
know, like
I feel like
Yeah.
it's a lot like the motorcycle community. Is the most of
Yeah.
the motorcycle community is rich, right? Like,
Right.
and like
you
there's-
got to have money to buy guns and motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That's facts.
There's some small part of the motorcycle community that is like real grimy, like street motorcycle
Man, that's
or
a
gang.
little tiny
yeah,
part.
but that's the minute
Yeah.
minority. The rest of them are like weekend warrior guys that have money that go out, you know, enjoy.
Yeah.
Like your dad.
It's like
would, you know.
like my dad. Like when we went to the Copperhead in
Yeah.
like Trevor's spot, and like when I was up there, I mean, you could just tell that the bikers that had been there or whatever whatever. Treated this place like, I mean, the place was immaculate.
Yeah, yeah. There's the
Gold.
like the real hunters that are hunting a full time all the
probably
time
wouldn't go to
the
the cabin, I
You know what I'm
wouldn't
thinking?
imagine, right?
We're talking the weekend warrior hunters that you're going out, you're hunting. You
Yeah.
know, you got all brand new camo, brand new guns.
You ever had any famous people stay there? Other than Dirty Jim. He's very
Yeah,
famous.
you gave it to him for free, right? He didn't pay nothing.
yeah.
I know.
Did he
I
give
know.
you a good
Jimmy.
enough plug? Did he give you a good enough plug?
Yeah, yeah.
We can make up for that. We can make up for that if he
Yeah.
didn't. If he did you wrong.
Jimmy's always done me right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just want to
yeah,
make
I
sure
know,
because
yeah.
he's a little.
Did it work? Did you have any way to
scammy.
track the success of the plug?
Yeah.
Like I
did
want.
he give you a Bitly or any codes?
Did any?
Yeah.
Did any?
How about a call to action?
Did
he have
anybody
a
book
CTA?
because of Dirty
That
Jim?
was where Tori hurt herself. They remember they got in the snowmobile accident. She hurt her knee.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
they
with
like
them
to
when that
sue.
happened.
I
They're
know.
coming
Yeah.
for the lawn.
I know.
Oh, that's how
I
you
just
got
got
that
him out of
mansion.
there. I'm like, "You gonna be okay, sir? You know, come on."
Oh my God! Please breathe. Please breathe.
So, there's got to be someone managing it now, right? Because there's probably you have guests there. Right?
I hope he goes. Oh no!
Yeah, we actually we have our place right next door. We call which our family place, the camp. So we stay there whenever we're up working. I'm back and forth every day, but our house is actually an hour from the lodge. And so we commute back and forth. So we have an on-site property manager, and she's watching over things
That's
right
awesome.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have like a lodge, a restaurant, a bar.
Well, the restaurant bar, yeah, like
Yeah.
Joe's
I know
like,
he
get
got
the
rid of
hell-
it. Yeah, it's
get-
just too hard.
Yeah,
It's
We
just
did it
too
for 10
hard.
years. It was great.
Oh,
we
yeah.
had, I mean, what we did is we were barbecue. So we smoked everything in house, and it was really good. Like our bar is I built it, with snowmobiling in mind. It's got snowmobiles over the bar, and I got a old
that's so
3-wheeler and
cool.
all that. But it just
Too hard.
yeah. So we use it. So during hunting season, the whole month of November we're full of deer hunters. So we utilize the lodge then, and for the weddings too, of course.
That's rad.
So, Joe, right now, as you market now, it's just social media, right? Like, and
That's it.
and that has
Nice.
exploded your business because there was a time that me and Daniel had a meeting at King's Landing to do our first BDM meetup
yeah.
10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen the time happen,
Yep.
and we saw what happened to businesses like this. We had a meeting with the owner of
Yeah.
King's
These
Landing
badass little echo spots where
Because-
you'd have like awesome nature and a place.
because he wanted us to market and tell
Yeah.
people about it.
He's like, it's a hidden paradise.
Yeah, like-
We're like, it sure is.
Yeah, yeah, like,
Not
and-
anymore.
And then and there was a time we were doing our BDM meetup there so we could market King's Landing, and now 2 months reserved. I mean,
Good
6
luck.
months. I mean, it's so insane how much that place has exploded because of social media. And now people mention to me that are friends in Miami are like, hey, I've seen that really cool Paradise Emerald Cove that I
Sorry.
see.
Yeah. I
I
got
want to
turned
go
away. I can't get in there. It's at capacity.
yeah. It's so businesses like that have exploded because of social media, and I've said before, there are no secrets anymore. Every cool place now is seen by the world. So I'm sure that's happened to you as well too. Like people now find you through social media and through the internet, right?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much word of mouth, is what it is now. I did that's actually so I advertised on the radio station down here is how I met Jimmy, so
nice.
Oh, that was a
So-
waste.
so well,
Did you just hear me say social media's free? King's Landing doesn't have to do nothing. It's out there. Ranch.
yeah, and so my idea was when I heard that there was direct flights from Sanford to Bangor,
Yep.
I was like, someone can just jump on a plane. It's simple and easy. They're, in the heat of the summer, they cruise up there. It's an easy trip.
Yeah.
2-hour drive to the lodge and you're there. So that's what prompted it. And it didn't do it for long, but it was effective.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
of course, because
Yeah.
I've always been interested in going to Maine just because I've always
I've never
heard
been.
awesome things about it, and especially in the summer too. It's like we're melting down here in July and August. So,
Yeah.
it'd be cool to jump up to Maine and just have a tiny reprieve from the heat. So I'm sure that's a lot of your business. But now people are seeing it everywhere, and you're people are just searching cool places, lodges to stay in Maine.
Lodge in Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm sure you SEO and stuff like that. You have to put money into some of the Google stuff, but other than that, it probably word of mouth and the internet, and you're good, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
So Joe, I appreciate you coming by.
Man. Really appreciate
absolutely.
the time. It's really nice to see you guys.
We gave you enough advertising today for all of us
Yes.
to have one free stay at
Next
your
summer.
lodge.
Lake Parlin Lodge.
You guys are always welcome.
Yeah. And then,
So-
I'd like a couple nights. And my boys, they love pancakes.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think
you wanted to cook breakfast for your boys?
No, I'm just
That's
saying-
not part of the deal.
Just make a
Why
note.
are you describing?
Yeah,
There's no restaurant there
There's no
anymore.
restaurant
right?
anymore.
no, you just make a note. I'm just saying.
Is it appropriate to plug a podcast as well?
Yeah,
Is that good?
yeah. Please.
So we
How
do
about
we do a podcast on deer hunting. It's called Big Woods Bucks, and it's all about tracking deer on snow.
Oh, I love it.
And so I know there's a lot of outdoorsmen that listen to you guys.
Hell
and,
yeah, man.
and,
That's awesome. And that's
so-
you and who? You and your
It's
wife?
myself. No, myself. My friend Hal Blood, and
Hal
Hal
Blood.
Blood.
His name is Hal Blood.
What the?
Hal's the
middle
big
name's
Hal's the
Much.
big name. I'm just the
How
co-host.
much blood? I'm Hal Blood.
Hal is like he's like the, for
It's
lack of
the
a better analogy, the
Big
Michael
Woods
Jordan
Bucks
of tracking.
with Joe and Hal Blood. Hal Blood. Big Woods Bucks with Joe and Hal Blood.
Hold on. How
I'm
long
in.
is the episode? It's just about deer tracking?
Yeah, we've been doing it for 5 years now. Real
Nice.
been successful for us, and so it's all about tracking deer.
And do you ever get off topic and
Start talking about,
Yeah, we talk about moose hunting too.
But you never just talk about like my old lady's a real bitch. And she's
or you dip your toe into
Pelosi.
Pelosi?
Yeah. Paul Pelosi, knock him in the head, hammerhead.
We might have got on that track a couple times in the past, but not a
Well,
whole
you know
lot.
your audience.
And then
We're
your wife
mostly-
is knocking on the door. She's like, turn it down.
Joe, you have to know your audience. You know,
You
Yeah,
got to
dip-
know who's got the gun, the legal gun, listening to you.
it's how hard it is to stay on topic of deer tracking for
You
what is
gotta
it, an
stay on
hour
track.
long?
You got to track the deer. You got to track the
Yeah, we do an hour, and it's bi-weekly. So we do one every 2 weeks.
I feel like tracking deer in the snow, the easiest. Right?
Is it
I've
easy
seen-
or hard?
You should spend your time up there trying that then if you think it's easy.
Oh, I'm just saying.
Everything's
I've
easy to
sold
tell.
everybody, every guest that comes in here.
That's
It's
like,
in the
we
snow.
have the
I know
clarinet-
what
I
snow
know.
is.
He got my name
Yeah.
right.
I was just in
Yeah.
snow.
I know what snow is. I was just in snow.
We had
I
a
looked
clarinet
out and
player
like,
here,
there's the
and Tom's
tracks.
like, "It's clarinet's easy. You got the deer guy in
Jesus
it.
Christ,
This
man.
is easy. Your lodge,
First day back.
running a lodge is easy."
Well, tracking deer in the summer, that's a little hard. You got the leaves break off. I've seen the movies. Like
leaves break off.
You see the doo-doo, you're like, touch the doo-doo, you're like, fresh.
Touch
It's-
the doo-doo.
You know, like,
I don't think you touch
take
the
a
deer
stick.
and go fresh.
But the snow, you see the tracks. You're like, there it is. No, I'm just saying, it's easier.
Yeah.
And then
I
you're
see
like-
blood in the white.
It's like this. Here's the tracks. There it is, going that way.
So I grew up hunting in the Everglades off airboats. That's easy.
Ah.
You just drive and shoot, right?
Get 'em.
No,
That's
Everglades
easy.
insulted his whole
steak.
family.
Yeah.
Everglades
No,
steak.
that was my lifestyle.
Yeah, but
man.
that was his
Hold on.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
This guy is called.
Hold on.
This guy is
I've been in
born
the
on an
Everglades.
airboat.
Hold on, I've been in the Everglades. It's water everywhere. It's harder to know where the deer go. You're like, what the hell?
You
have
just go to
nothing
the dry ground, Tom.
Okay. I know.
Oh, take that.
Yeah, but
Take that.
the snow.
Okay,
and
so-
you see where they go.
It's the hiking the 10 to 12 miles a day, following them up the mountains
Okay,
and
well,
everything.
that's
Yeah.
another thing.
You didn't talk about it.
So
Well, do the show about hiking. I was just saying, I don't want to
Yeah.
do your job for you, Joe.
So that's why it is
glad
such
you
a
don't.
niche. It's such a niche thing. The whole tracking thing is because it's challenging, and a lot
Yeah.
of guys that have sat in trees that don't want to do that anymore want to try something different. That's
Yeah,
kinda,
it's rewarding.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't want to walk so far. I just want to.
I just want to sit my big
In a
fat
tree
blob in a
stand.
tree. I
don't even wanna get out of my side-by-side.
Big
I
fat
w-
blob. I got all the way up in this tree. I'm like, oh, I'm nice and high,
Yeah.
and I just want to shoot everything around me, kill everything, and then
Yeah.
get down and have a couple beers in the lodge.
like chain it to some sort of thing like Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
you bring it to be chained, and then I'll
yeah,
just
yeah.
shoot
I
it.
still have to shoot it.
Yeah. And I'll shoot it crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll miss
and I'll
a
give you the
bunch.
chain back. I'll undo the chain and give it back to you.
Yeah,
Here's your
then,
chain.
then lower me down down from the tree.
Because I can't walk.
Yeah. No.
I've seen the whale. Have you seen the whale?
Joe, plug
No.
your.
Do you want to see the whale?
No.
I have a copy of it in my desk.
Where can people book your lodge, Joe?
Right on lakeparlinlodge.com. You can book right online. And
There you go. LakeParlinLodge.com. Check it out. Really, really, really beautiful spot.
Awesome, Joe. We appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so
the
much.
time. That
All
was
right, man.
awesome.
Thank
And
you,
thanks
guys.
to your wife for hanging in the lobby and
Yep. And we'll be in contact.
Yeah.
You'll see.
We'll be right back.
Bye.
All right. Are we going to lunch?